Sadly, on the 8th of September, 2022, Queen Elizabeth II died. She died of old age. She was the longest ruling British monarch in history, ruling from 1952 to 2022. Almost the entirety of Piston Cup history happened when she was parked on the British throne. And she made an appearance in Cars 2, which is why this picture is shown here. And may Queen Elizabeth II rest in peace.
KA Bullets YouTube channel.
Hurry up, now tell us why you're here.
Juan Pablo Montoya will start at pole position with Lightning McQueen, the current champion, to his outside. Row 2 has Mark Carton and Jamie McCarry to his outside. Row 3 has The Rocket, Ryan Newcar, and Clint Bokar to his outside. Row 4 has Greg People and two-time Piston Cup champion Jeff Gorvette to his outside. Row 5 has the teammates Kevin Carvick and Jeff Burnton, the jumper. And row 6 has Brad Karslowski and Martin Carrix Jr. to his outside. And row 7 has Matt Karzith and his former teammate Kurt Bushtire, who hopefully doesn't say the bad word. Row 8 has Tony Gasworth and AJ Carmendinger, who is numbered 43. Row 9 has Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Denny Carlin, who complained about not winning a championship last season. Row 10 has Carl Edwards and Cal Weathers, the other car that's numbered 42. Row 11 has Bobby Swift and Brickyard, who's looking for a better finish this race. Row 12 has Kyle Bushtire, the mean yellow car, and Casey Corner to his outside. Row 13 is Brick Hicks, the nice Hicks, and Jimmy Cables to his outside. Row 14 has Moray Clutchburn, who's been racing since 1985, and David Braycar. Row 15 has David Rudicar, another David, and Rex Reveler to his outside. Row 16 is Bill Racelot, making his second start this season, and Ernie Gearson to his outside. Row 17 has Floyd Mulvihill and Joey Logierno, who shouldn't have followed Kyle Bushtire's example. Row 18 has Reb Meeker and Chip Gearings. I hope neither of them crash. Row 19 has Phil Tankson, what are you doing back there? And TG Castlenut. Row 20 has Dud Throttleman and Bruce Miller. I wonder what they're going to do. Row 21 has Dave Laney in his final season and Mike Yankee Jr. to his outside. And starting in 43rd is Todd Marcus, who almost skipped qualifying. But unfortunately, these 7 cars, among many others, failed to qualify for this race. Juan Pablo Montoya would lead for the first 16 laps of the race before he'd lose the lead to Lightning McQueen, who would lead for the next 5 laps, but on lap 21 he'd lose it. But Chip Gearings would be out because of an engine failure on lap 20. Juan Pablo Montoya would retake the lead on lap 21 and lead all the way until lap 37, but then Kyle Bushtire is 20th as of lap 33, where he wrecks Bruce Miller, Dave Laney, and Ernie Gearson. Why? Mark Carton would take the lead on lap 37 and lead until lap 48, where he'd lose the lead to Greg People, who would lead for just 2 laps before he'd lose the lead to Juan Pablo Montoya, who would lead all the way until lap 62. But unfortunately, Joey Logierno would be 28th as of lap 56, where he wrecks TG Castlenut and Phil Tankson. Why? And Greg People would retake the lead on lap 62, leading until lap 98, where his teammate Carl Edwards would take the lead from him. He'd lead for 2 laps, but on lap 100, Juan Pablo Montoya would retake the lead, leading for 40 laps before his teammate Jamie McCarry would take the lead from him, leading until lap 145, where Kevin Carvick would take the lead. He'd lead for 4 laps before Jamie McCarry would retake the lead, leading all the way until lap 169 for a total of 20 laps before Lightning McQueen would retake the lead, leading until lap 176, where Cal Weathers would take the lead off of pit cycles. But on lap 177, Lightning McQueen would be back in the lead, leading until lap 201. But then, Juan Pablo Montoya once again retakes the lead, leading for another 6 laps. But then Jeff Gorvette would take the lead for 2 laps, but on lap 208, Lightning McQueen would retake the lead, leading all the way until lap 233, where Juan Pablo Montoya once again would retake the lead, leading until lap 237, where Jamie McCarry would once again take the lead, leading until lap 245 for a total of 8 laps. But then Kyle Busch-Tire would be 5th as of lap 245, where he wrecks Todd Marcus, Cal Weathers, and Juan Pablo Montoya. Why? And he also puts Doug Throttleman, Brick Hicks, Mike Yankee Jr., David Rudikar, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. 1 lap down. Why? And Lightning McQueen would take the lead after the restart and lead until lap 253, where Carl Edwards would take the lead from him, losing the lead on lap 255 to Mark Carton, who would lead until lap 272, but then he'd lose the lead to Bobby Swift, who would lead until lap 279. But of course, Lightning McQueen retakes the lead, leading all the way until lap 326, but Jamie McCarry would take the lead from him, leading for 12 laps. But on lap 336, Dale Earnhardt Jr. would be back on the lead lap, and Lightning McQueen would retake the lead on lap 338. On lap 346, Floyd Mulvihill would take the lead from him, leading for 2 laps before Brickyard would take the lead from him, leading for 10 laps before Lightning McQueen would once again retake the lead, leading until lap 370, where Jamie McCarry would once again retake the lead, leading for 13 laps before Brickyard would take the lead from him. He'd lead for 3 more laps before Lightning McQueen would of course retake the lead and take the checkered flag to win the 2010 Brickyard 400, where Jamie McCarry would finish 2nd this race, Brickyard 3rd, Kevin Carvick 4th, and Greg Beeple rounding out the top 5. And here is the top 20 of the race, with Clint Bogart finishing 6th, Tony Gasworth 7th, Jeff Burton the Jumper 8th, Carl Edwards 9th, and the mean yellow car, Kyle Busch-Tire, rounding out the top 10, followed by Joey Logierno and Kurt Busch-Tire. And Mark Carton would finish 13th, Bobby Swift 14th, and Matt Karseth 15th, with Casey Corner, Jimmy Cables, Denny Carlin, AJ Carmeninger, and Rocket Ryan Newcar form the top 20. And here are the rest of the results. How did Floyd Mulvihill and Jeff Gorvette finish outside the top 20? And Reb Meeker, at least, didn't wreck out. But Dale Earnhardt Jr. is the last car to finish on the lead lap, finishing 30th this race. And unfortunately, Chip Gearings finished 43rd yet again. And here is the top 20 in points, where Lightning McQueen still leads by a massive margin, and Kevin Carvick moves back up to 3rd in points. And Denny Carlin falls down to 8th in points for some reason. Matt Karseth still has only led 1 lap this season. And also, Jeff Gorvette and Kyle Busch-Tire switched places. Why, mean yellow car?
Remember to press the notifications button, which goes ring, ring, ring after you press it. And lightning strikes back, and that's as if you subscribed, of course. And thank you for watching this entire video.
Lightning McQueen has a 628-point lead over Bobby Swift. How is this possible? Lightning McQueen has straight up dominated the entire 2010 Piston Cup season so far. We're only just over halfway through the season, and Lightning McQueen is already in a position to win the Piston Cup. How? Well, of course, he's won the most races. And he's only finished outside of the top 10 twice so far this season. And Matt Karseth has still only led 1 lap this season. And that was in a race where everybody led a lap. And the next race of the 2010 Piston Cup season will be coming out very soon. Unfortunately, the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine is still going on. The Ukrainian people are tired of war and just want to live in peace and have freedom. But who is standing in the way of this common dream? The tyrant and bully, Vladimir Putin. Why did you launch this invasion in the first place? You already have enough land of your own. And also, you're losing! The summer counteroffensive in the south is being launched by the Ukrainian armed forces. Around the city of Kherson, Ukrainian soldiers at the moment are winning this southern counteroffensive. And we at the hashtag KABullets YouTube channel still stand with Ukraine and hope the soldiers do well. Hopefully all cities in Ukraine will be liberated very soon, followed by peace, which means that the people will no longer have to deal with war and can live their lives happily. But the tyrant Vladimir Putin is not letting this happen. Слава Україні! Героям слава! Нехай швидше дарується Україні перемога!